my shares really quickly. I hope all is well with everybody. We're going to get started for today. Happy Sunday. And we're going to be talking about women's burnout and how to balance it and getting back to the true healing that we are looking for from the inside out. And understanding what has been going on inside of our body allows us to be able to get to the root cause. But in order for us to get to the root cause, we have to really break down and make the connections that we have been looking for when it comes to diet culture and calorie counting and restricting. And you're not going to see the results that are long lasting and sustaining in this space because they're designed to keep you ill. They're designed to keep you sick. They're designed to keep you in that constant battle of cat and mouse game with your body, of thinking that 1 minute you're losing weight, the next minute that you're not. 1 minute you're feeling like you're good and you're light and you're feeling healthy. And as soon as you go back to your old lifestyle, you are going to start having the same issues that you were before you went on the diet. And many of us wake up and we have no energy. Our mood is unpredictable. Our cravings are stronger than any willpower that we feel like that we should have or we do have. And we're trying to stick with diet culture, but nothing actually truly sticks with us because we are consistently, for years on end, running on empty. We have limited amount, or not exactly a supporting amount of nutrition in our food. And then on top of that, we don't know how to read our labels. We don't understand how important it is for us to eat plant-based meals on a regular basis. We don't understand how unnecessary dairy is in our lifestyle and in our food. And on top of that, you're sitting here not releasing and resetting when it comes to your cycle every single month. So you are putting your body in a complete imbalance for what it actually needs. And many women are sitting out here thinking that they're lazy, they're unmotivated, or that they're broken. But in reality, that's not your truth. It's just because you are stuck in a survival pattern that society has taught you. Society has taught you to survive and make it to the next day. It has taught you to consistently be on this basis of catch up, playing cat and mouse with your body. And as a woman, that does not work for us because men are on a 24-hour cycle. Women are on a 28 to 30-day cycle, depending on what your cycle is and how long it lasts. And so when you look at that and understand that we go through different phases, like we go through different seasons in the world, you have to look at your body differently than what they have taught us when it comes to us following what men's bodies can do. Because women and men's bodies are two different things. Regardless of what you believe currently right now and what's going on with society, there is a reason why you have a structure of a woman versus a structure of a man. Because men go through 24-hour cycles, women's bodies do not do that. So you cannot operate like a man where you're going through each phase in 24 hours and then tomorrow you wake up refreshed and renewed, because your body does not do that. You go through a phase where you have so much energy for about 5 to 7 days. I said 5 to 7, 10 days. 5 to 7 days. And you'll feel energetic and you'll be able to get all these different things done, all these hard tasks, plan out the month. But then you'll have the next week and you won't have that energy. You won't even have the discerning thought to be able to do those different things, nor do you want to. But the key difference between the person who is just managing and making it by to the next day, like society teaches us, versus the person who understands how to sync with that and to use that, that is the difference between your balance and the difference between your burnout. There are too many women in survival patterns and nothing changes for them because they're not getting to the root cause of why they're in survival mode. There is a clear picture painted of the problem, but we are not taught to assess the problem that's going on, but rather think that there's something wrong with our body and ourselves in a lack of discipline. But this fight or flight mode is your key telling sign to let you know that you're not lacking discipline, but rather these things have become so common that we make it the norm to believe that we're lazy and we're not disciplined because our body is trying to tell us it's not the time for that during this month. During your 28-day cycle, it's not the time for you to go try to run a marathon because the marathon does not sync up when your body needs to actually do all that activity. You don't need to go over there and support your friend and your friend's friend and everybody else during this week because it's your time to rest. And you can let people know that and communicate that when you're synced with your cycle. But when you're not synced with your body, not only is your nervous system going to be on high alert because you're never supporting your nervous system with all the stress that you put it under, the lack of sleep when it needs certain amount of hours of sleep during certain phases of your cycle, you're eating processed foods, you're over exercising, you're skipping meals thinking this is a way for you to fast. You're calorie counting and restricting when in this time you need to eat more calories. And then on top of that, all of the emotional strain that you're putting on your body when you have external stressors and you don't deal with those normally, but instead you want to eat your feelings, those are all putting your nervous system in high alert. And that keeps you in fight or flight mode, which in return keeps you in survival mode and keeps your body from healing itself internally. It keeps your system borrowing resources in order for you to stay alive. Instead of borrowing resources from each organ that needs these resources, why not start training your body to feel safe so that it's not overextending itself? Because there are entirely too many women dealing with liver, kidney, gut, pancreas, brain, adrenal gland overall issues. And the reason why they're having these issues is because daily these organs, these systems, these glands, they're being robbed of what they need. And you're already lacking nutrition. And so on top of you lacking nutrition and your body stealing resources from these key vital parts of your body, now you're sitting here having hormonal imbalances because everything in your system is off. And you haven't been taught how to fix this problem, but instead feed the problem further. So you do this for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you think that eating well sometimes is the way for you to get this back together, and taking a supplement or having a surgery is the way for you to be able to fix all these problems. But if your foundation has cracks in it, there is no way for you to build on that foundation with a healthy, stable building block when the foundation has cracks and it's already leaning to the side. If you have foundation with cracks in it and you know that the house can't stand on it, why would you keep building on top of it? That's literally like you sitting here saying, well, I know it's sideways, but I'm going to still hang it up anyway. And then you leave it, and then you're looking at it, and you're like, I don't know, something's wrong with it. You just said it was sideways. That's the same thing when you do when you're sitting there saying, I need to eat better, I'm not eating right. And then you look in the mirror, and you're trying to figure out why you're bloated, why you're sick, why you have a disease, why you develop diabetes. And you're trying to pinpoint why these things are going on. But you literally just said out of your mouth, I need to eat better. There you go right there. Because subconsciously, you were going to start speaking the problems into existence before you actually consciously make the choice to realize this is what the root cause problem is. And before you sit here and you're like, I don't know if that's true, really sit back and think about the last time that you were thinking about going on to a diet. Before you go on a diet, you have all the signs to let yourself know it's time for you to go on a diet. You start gaining weight. You're looking in the mirror going, these weren't fitting like that before. I don't remember this looking like this. Maybe I've been eating too much. You know what? I probably just need to stop eating so many snacks. And then you don't stop eating snacks. And then on top of that, now you start adding in fried foods. And then you're sitting here going, I've been eating too much fried food. I probably need to fast this week, do some kind of fruit cleanse, right? I'm going to start calorie counting. Then you don't do it. And it's been about 3 months of you not doing this, but you recognized it 3 months ago. And then now 3 months have passed. You have all these issues ramped up and it's becoming more prominent. So guess what? Now you're going to go do Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, keto, paleo, Whole30. And so you're sitting here like, okay, this is what I need. And you're going to feel good right then. You're going to lose some weight. You're going to slim down. You might not be the size that you were before, or you might get back to that size. But then as soon as you go back to the old habits that you had before, because that foundation has cracks, so you're going to go back to those terrible habits that you have because those are the cracks in your foundation. And then you're going to wonder why all of a sudden you gained all the weight back, why you don't feel good anymore. How come all of a sudden you're having issues with your gut? How come you're all of a sudden having issues with your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas? Why your brain feels off and you're having mental fatigue? Why you're sitting here dealing with anxiety out of nowhere? It's because you are building on a foundation that is not stable, and it's not going to help you, but instead you're going down the snowball effect of consistently falling down the hill, finally hitting a breaking point, falling down the hill, finally hitting a breaking point. And when you are tired of dealing with these same symptoms of fatigue, you're dealing with bloating, brain fog, mood swings, you're dealing with the weight gain, you're dealing with painful menstrual cycles, unexplained weight gain to be specific, and anxiety, these are telltale signs from your body to let you know you are in panic mode. These things are common, but they're not normal things to deal with every single day, normal symptoms to have every single day. People will sleep 8 to 10 hours and still feel tired and wonder why. And they think it's because they only can rest completely on the weekend. But in reality, it's because your body has been trying to keep you alive for entirely too long. And so it never has an exact resting time. And so instead of it resting, even though things are still working, during that time, all it's doing is playing catch up, trying to keep you alive during the night. And then when you wake up and you start eating again, it's trying to keep you alive during the day. So it's consistently fighting. So do you see why you're in fight or flight mode? And do you see how the body has been thrown off? But I really want to dissect the inner systems and allow you to really dive deeper and understand and bridge that gap for yourself. So I want to go through each section of the liver, the gut, the kidney, the pancreas, and your brain, and just making the connections. So first, I want to start with your liver, which is your filter for your hormones. This is going to help you be able to filter your toxins, your hormones, and that excess stress chemical, which is androgens. But or cortisol, because this also can help you balance your cortisol, but more specifically with androgens, okay? When it's overworked, the stress hormone that produces itself, which are androgens, is going to cause you to have a hormonal imbalance, because cortisol is a thing that we talk about, and cortisol happens in the gut mainly, not really in the liver as much as the gut. And so we don't ever really talk about androgens, but I've been bringing this up because people didn't realize when we're on this kick of talking about cortisol, and TikTok has made it popular to know about high cortisol, right? But you don't realize when you're in that high, after so long, it has to hit a low. And you hit that plateau and your body hits a baseline that now this is your norm, that bottom. It's no longer going in the middle and being balanced. It's no longer being high, but now it's at an all-time low and it can't get back up. And so then over time, after you're at that cortisol low, you are building up androgens, which are storing inside of your liver, which is a stress hormone, which is stressing your liver out more. And this is your hormonal detoxification place. So you're going to start to see things like progesterone dominance. You're going to start to see things like estrogen dominance. You're going to start to see signs of you having excess weight gain and bloating, anxiety, depression, because it's overworking that area. Painful menstrual cycles, PMSing, acne, headaches. These are just little simple things that you're going to start seeing signs of because you are overloaded inside of your liver. And it's not because that the liver is not doing its job, so then you need to go take a supplement, but it's because you are hitting your liver negatively, knocking it down and making it work harder with everything that you eat, the products that you use, and the lack of support when it comes to you actually getting rid of stress versus emotionally eating. Because a lot of women do that. It's been made common. You go through a breakup, let's eat some ice cream. You're going through a hard time, here's some cookies and some cake. Oh, we're celebrating right now, here you go. Your cycle is here, you want chocolate. But instead of us having the correct cravings, because subconsciously we have trained these cravings, we have the terrible toxic cravings that don't support our body, and then we wonder why we're thrown off every single month. And so when your liver is off completely, you are going to have imbalances hormonally. Thank you for liking up the live. I really appreciate it. And the same thing with the gut. The gut is the place where your immune system is supposed to thrive. But when your pH is not high enough, your immune system is going to be poor inside of the gut. Which in reality, when it's poor inside of the gut, then you are also going to be affecting your neurotransmitters. And this is going to cause you to have mood swings. It's going to cause you to have lack of sleep. It's going to cause you to have inflammation. It's going to cause you to have digestive issues. And all of these are going to be not only a response from stress, externally and internally, but these are also going to be a response to your gut pH not being high enough to digest every single day. So when you're sitting here dealing with the issue of the fact that your immune system is not being supported inside of your gut, your pH is not high enough, and then you're eating every single day, all day, and you eat 3 meals a day plus snacks, you don't know what's in your ingredients, you don't really know how to read your labels, and if you do read a label, you're only reading the nutrition facts, you don't read ingredients, your gut is going to be off. And no gut supplement, no tincture, no surgery, or whatever else they're trying to promote to you is a solution for you healing your gut. Because how you help your gut heal is you use foods. You have to start eating gut supporting foods. Stabilizers for your pH, stabilizers for your blood sugar, which we're going to talk about when we hit your pancreas. But stabilizing your body starts with food. That's a healthy foundation. A foundation with cracks in it is you thinking that a supplement is the way for you to heal these things. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. And the same thing is happening with your kidneys, because your kidneys are your filtration for your blood, right? And so your kidneys need hydration, and they need hydration more than you just drinking water, but hydration on a cellular level, which comes from things like fruits and vegetables, high water content fruits, high water content vegetables. And the same thing when it comes to oxygen. You need oxygen on a cellular level, which also comes from highly oxygenated, highly water-based fruits and vegetables, because that water that's in fruits and vegetables also gives your body oxygen. And those two things go hand in hand with hydration and oxygenation on a cellular level. But when you're not getting those things, you're not regulating your hydration. You're not regulating the minerals that's being absorbed. You're not helping stabilize your blood pressure. And so all of these are going to cause an imbalance, which is going to cause your kidneys to have to work overtime, and your kidneys dehydrated causes a number of different issues that starts to break itself down in the body. Because stress plus dehydration equals your minerals depleting. I gotta get it out. It equals your minerals depleting. And so your minerals depleting is going to cause you to have fatigue. It's going to cause you to be irritable. So that PMSing that you're having during the time before your cycle, and you're thinking, oh, I'm just PMSing and I'm cranky. Think about how many times you've eaten fruits this month. Because it's not just, oh, I ate fruits right before my cycle, I should be fine. How many fruits did you eat this month? How many vegetables did you eat this month? How many raw fruits did you eat? How many raw vegetables did you eat? How many plant-based meals did you eat? Because these are questions you should be asking when you're fatigued, when you're irritable, when you're having PMSing symptoms. Because the key is the fact that you give yourself a microdose of what your body needs, hoping that it doesn't make your cycle painful. But how you fully balance the whole system is you give yourself a plethora of everything that you need, whether it's raw fruits and vegetables, whether it's a plant-based meal. You have to have these incorporated in your life. I talked about this before, and I'm going to say it again. Even though I don't promote this, I have to get people to understand that regardless of what your lifestyle is, when you stick with it after you're sustained and you're balanced, whether you go back to eating meat, that's up to you. But in order for you to get to the balance and the healing that you were searching for, you have to go back to the basics and go back to the core of what your body is needing, which is plant-based meals. That's the reason why all these doctors are now promoting for people who have chronic illnesses and diseases to go to a plant-based lifestyle, to eat more plant-based foods. It's not just because it's the new trendy wave of keto and paleo and Weight Watchers, but they're understanding the fact that our food is lacking nutrition. And the only way for you to get the nutrition that your body is lacking on the lifestyle that they have taught you to be on is for you to go back to the earth, go back to your nature. And in order for you to see the change that you're looking for, you have to cut out the programming that you were under and get back to the realization that subconsciously you were not trained to crave the foods that you should be eating. And so then subconsciously you're going to keep thinking that this meat that's on your plate is the healthy, nutritional, balanced meal that gets you everything that you need. But it hasn't been. Because if it was, you wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't be sitting here dealing with the PMS, the fatigue, irritability. You wouldn't be sitting here dealing with imbalances. You wouldn't be sitting here having the issues of lack of hydration on a cellular level. You wouldn't be having an imbalance in the liver, in the gut, in the kidneys. And the same thing happens with your blood sugar, because blood sugar regulation happens inside of your pancreas, right? And so this is what I talk about when it comes to you getting hydration on a cellular level and stabilizers. Because if you're not getting hydration on a cellular level, you do understand that like one of the main issues for diabetes is hydration. That's a big issue that they have, is being dehydrated. And the reason why is because after so long of your cells no longer being able to respond to sugar, but instead having to expel the sugar, all it can do is stick together, because all of your cells get coated when you have diabetes. That's the reason why it's hard for them to clot. That's the reason why it's more likely, or not more likely, but it's more common for people to lose limbs when they have diabetes. Because it's hard for their blood to not stick to things, stick together, clump together. because the sugar makes it sticky. And that's not just happening, down here internally. It happens in your brain too. It starts to stick together. So then the brain fog happens. And that's the reason why sugar is so dangerous to the brain. Not only does it throw off the actual neurotransmitters inside of your brain, but it also causes the blood flow to stick together, which is restricting. And so this is the reason why that they see that it's more likely for you to develop Alzheimer's when you have type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes undealt with, type 2 diabetes. Because let's really put that two and two together. If you develop type 2, you're more likely to develop type 3 because you're not changing your habits. And type 3 has not been directly linked, but they have seen the correlation between the fact that when you have type 3 diabetes, you are more likely to develop Alzheimer's. And that is because everything is coated and sticking together and nothing is flowing. You don't have enough hydration. You are lacking. And so this is causing blood sugar dysregulation. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. And so high stress spikes your cortisol. And like I was talking about how in your pancreas, this is a good place, or not the good place. Let me rephrase that. This is a place that your cortisol needs to be balanced. You need stabilizers. Because when you have no stabilizers in your food, you cannot stabilize your blood sugar, which in return is going to cause you to have blood sugar spikes, which cause cravings, energy crashes, and weight gain. And when your cortisol is so high, you are going to hit that peak bottom like we talked about a minute ago. And if you miss this will be posted on YouTube later on. And so I want to go back to the gut so we can understand the link between our gut and our brain in the adrenal glands. Because when our gut is off, our brain is going to be off. In science, they have nicknamed our brain, our gut, our second brain. And the reason behind that is because your gut pH is a direct determinant of how healthy your brain is. If your gut pH is poor, it's terrible, it's off, you are going to have issues in the brain, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's fatigue, whether it's panic attacks. And this is scientific fact. You can go look up the articles and see, because the gut sends direct signals to the brain. And so the same thing happens when the brain sends all the other signals to your adrenal gland, which is your hormone regulator, to your liver, to your pancreas, to your kidneys, back to your gut. All of these things are directly connected, but when you have something off, each system is going to send a panic response, which in return releases cortisol. When your adrenal glands are thrown off and it's saying, hey, I can't balance your hormones this month, immediately it's releasing cortisol. Immediately it starts panicking. And you know what that panic does? It tells the liver, hey, stop expelling estrogen because I don't think I'm sending you enough estrogen right now. And your adrenal gland is not processing the fact that it sends 2 times more estrogen than you normally get on a regular basis. And so then now your liver is holding on to 2 times more estrogen from your adrenal glands. That's not even the estrogen that you get from food if you eat things like soy, or if you eat soy-based products, if you do try to eat plant-based. Because soy is in a lot of y'all's processed foods, as well as soy is a lot of plant-based foods that they market to you on the shelves and commercially. And so when you really dive deep into how we have put our body in constant danger mode, you'll understand that if the gut is imbalanced, the brain is going to send the wrong signals. And so in order for you to get out of this danger mode, get out of this fight or flight mode, you have to stop thinking that you being healthy is eating a salad, taking a probiotic, getting a surgery, and fixing the issue that you have right then and there. But understanding that if your system is off, it's overcompensating. And since it's overcompensating, you're in a burnout loop. And in order for you to get away from that burnout loop, it's not eating a salad, taking a probiotic or a supplement. It's not about you getting a gut cleanse from TikTok shop, but it's about you understanding what the root cause of the problem is. What is the crack in your foundation so that you can actually start a new foundation with no cracks? Because when you are consistently following this diet culture, you're not only keeping yourself down spiritually, but also emotionally and physically. And so this is a shift that you have to hit, because physically shifting looks like you getting rid of inflammatory foods, you balancing your blood sugar and understanding what stabilizers are in your food, cycle syncing, not only with the foods that you eat, but also the movements that you have every single month. Not being a gym rat if you don't desire to be one, but understanding how important it is for you to just get up and get moving. Supporting your system with a correct cleanse and a release every single month when it's time for you to do that, versus you sitting here thinking that you're going to do a detox for a week or two or a month or two, and then you're wondering why that the eating raw fruits and detoxing didn't work for you, because your body did not ask for that. You were just following what the gurus say on TikTok, and this is how you lose 100 pounds in 6 months or something, when in reality you need a foundation to learn how to give your body what it needs, and everything else will fall in line. Because if your goal in the end is just to lose weight or to gain weight, you're going to be sitting there thinking, okay, well, now that I've lost the weight or gained the weight, what now? I'm good, right? But this is not something that you just sit there and you do for a moment and then everything is going to be fine and you keep it for the rest of your life. But you need the sustainable habits that have you subconsciously choosing the correct things. Not, oh, I just want to look good right now, so I'm going to lose weight right now. But understanding that in order for you to have a healthy weight, you have to take care of your body according to what your body needs. So that looks like you syncing with your cycle. That looks like you stop giving yourself anti-inflammatory foods and giving yourself anti-inflammatory foods. Stop putting your blood sugar in a spike every single time that you eat. An emotional shift looks like you identifying the patterns of overgiving, overstimulating yourself, putting yourself last, making yourself stress out, putting yourself in a space where you think you don't need to rest, even when your body is telling you need to rest. A time that you can reflect instead of neglect yourself. Not talking bad about yourself, but seeing the patterns and observing and saying, this is not serving me. That's a discerning thought. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it, you guys. I'm gonna mute this, is loud. So in order for you to do this for yourself physically and emotionally, you also have to get spiritually sound. Remembering that your body was designed for balance. If your body can heal a broken bone, it can heal itself internally from diseases. And there's no excuse that it's not. You just have to find out the strategy to do this. And so stop putting yourself in burnout. And once you realize that your symptoms are not random, but these are signals and patterns that your body is letting you know that you are going down a path that does not help you shift, does not help you actually elevate and balance yourself, but it's telling you that you need to shift away from fighting. You're overworking yourself, and it's time for you to get in alignment. And so when you're ready to be aligned, your body is going to start being able to trust you again when you start having these habits that help you align, that actually help you feel safe again in your own body. But a lot of people don't, because they minimize themselves, thinking that it's normal to have PMSing, thinking that it's normal to have these cravings, and thinking that at the end of the day, they have lack of discipline and they're lazy. Y'all aren't lazy. And it's a rude awakening when you realize that you're not lazy, but instead you're set up for failure, and then they blame you for the failures that they set you up to have. Because I can guarantee you, if all women started syncing with their cycle more and stopped stressing themselves out during the time that they're supposed to rest, and they start doing more activities during the time that they have the most energy, we'll see a shift from women thinking that there's something wrong with their body, that they're lazy, that they have to depend on another being in order to get things done. Because if you don't have a man, what is your worth? Because that's a lot of people's TikToks right now, right? We'll start to understand, and we'll start to see how our body, the feminine, is supposed to function, how our body naturally is supposed to feel. And then we won't have to question and tell everybody our business of what phase of our cycle we're in, if you finally learn that out, and then how you're feeling today based on that phase, and tell everybody that what's going on with your ovulation phase. Because let's be 1,000% honest. The only reason why women are sharing that on here to men and telling them all this different stuff that is not their significant other, but they're sharing it with the internet, is because they're so excited that they finally know some information about their own body, but they don't know enough to get in alignment. They just know enough to spit something out and get a ton of views. But when you're speaking actual transformational truth, people don't want to hear it. Unless they're there to finally realize, you know what? Nothing has been working. And this constant exhaustion and bloating, even if I haven't eaten anything and barely functioning every single day, is not working for me. So I'm tired of being over emotional and thinking there's something wrong with me. I'm tired of sitting here thinking that these PMSing and painful menstrual cycles or irregular cycles or heavy cycles is something that I have to deal with as a woman. Because it's not. When you are actually feeding her what she needs and giving her what she needs, syncing with your cycle so that you support your liver and your gut, your pancreas, giving yourself a space where you can release that cortisol dominance and support yourself every single day and not have to overstress yourself every single day. Your body is finally going to go, wow, she finally understands me and she hears me. And the alignment that comes with that is if you slip up one day and you decide, you know what, I'm going to eat this, it's not going to be, oh, it's all over with and everything is wrong and I'm a failure. But you're going to realize and see, oh, I ate that and I don't think my body liked that. I can go on ahead and I can flush and I can reset and I can move on. Because a lot of y'all are in the space of diet culture of thinking if you slip up, if you eat this, you can't go back now. You broke your diet, it's over with. You're a failure. You have lack of motivation and understanding what's wrong with you. I tell this, I don't tell it all the time, but I do tell this, and I tell this because it's a funny story that I think about sometimes when I talk about like failures. And I tell my clients this, and it's usually like a pretty good story to get into the headspace. When I was going plant-based around 3 or 4 months in, I ate eggs. I didn't eat just like, oh, let me go in the fridge and eat eggs. It was in a product that I had bought at the store. I love the burgers, and I was like, oh, these are good. Grabbed a bag of burgers, grabbed a little thing of frozen burgers, right? I think I had their chicken patties at first. The chicken patties didn't have eggs, but then I grabbed the burger, or either that or was vice versa. And so I was like, oh, this is delicious. Didn't look at the ingredients. Didn't really pay any attention because I had grabbed one product that was good and didn't look at the other one, thinking that they were all made equal, which they're not. And one day I had told my niece, and I was like, yeah, I tried this one. I tried the other one. I think I like this one more, which was either the burger or the chicken. So she was like, oh, I'm going to try that. I've really been wanting one, and I haven't had one in a while because she went plant-based around the same time that I did. So fast forward, she had eaten it. It's the end of the week, and she had called me and was like, have you eaten yours? And I was like, yeah, I already ate mine. Like, I was like, I was eating mine when I called you. And she was like, did you look at the ingredients? And I was like, I did for the so-and-so one. I didn't look for the one that I just got that I was telling you was super, super good. I said, why? What happened? Like, I was like, oh my God, what's in it? And she goes, well, I didn't notice until my stomach started hurting. And she said, and when I realized that my stomach was hurting and I didn't eat anything else different besides that, I went and looked at the package. And she said, I didn't realize that it had eggs in it. Did you? And I was like, no. And so I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, you know what? You know, I did feel kind of like, oh, my stomach is kind of hurting, but it didn't upset me to make me question it. But what keyed me in was when she said that her stomach was hurting and she ate it and she looked at the label. And so I went back and I looked at all the labels of all the things that I had bought. Thank goodness it was only that one thing. But this was an early on mistake that I made. And if I would have sat there and thought about like diet culture of like, oh, I failed, I didn't read any labels, and then I misled somebody else and then cried about it and thought that I was a failure, she was a failure, and then went on about our business like we have to go back to meat now, we would have never been plant-based as long as we have been. She's been plant-based for over 5 years. My 5-year anniversary is in October. And I am so excited for my anniversary because I love telling people that like I won't ever go back to what I was eating and consuming before. Not because I like, oh, I really, really miss steak and I have to have steak. I make steaks. They might not be the steak that you go and get it from an animal, but it tastes the same and it's just as good. I don't have all the inflammation issues that I was having. I don't have all the pains that I was having. I'm not suffering the way that I was before. If you want to stay in the space of suffering, stay in the space of unknowing, not being able to hear the discernment from your body, stay in the space of doing what they're doing when they tell you to eat according to a pyramid and a plate, knowing that they don't eat that way. Because that's the key. They teach these things to the people who are in lesser, lower economies, but they don't teach people who are up in higher class economies the same thing that they teach us. And the reason why is because they need us to keep being sick. So you can keep following the same loop and Band-Aid solutions and thinking that there's something wrong with what I'm telling you and judge it and then go on and be like, nah, that's not going to work. But when you're in 2030 and you're in the agenda of them making $1 trillion profit off of people being diabetic and overweight, Don't be sitting here crying thinking that a surgery is something that you need and getting on the internet talking about how you're diabetic now and you're going to start a 3-step plan for you to be able to get rid of your diabetes with you eating chicken, rice, and bland vegetables all of your life or until you get rid of this disease. Because in reality, you set yourself up here. You made your bed. And the only way for you to fix the problem that you had is for you to stop following them. Stop feeding into the programming that you have been taught and realize that you have to form a new foundation. So before you go and think that the first thing you're going to do is wake up tomorrow and you're going to cut out everything and you're going to be full of energy within the end of the week and balanced mood and balanced cycle, no more cravings. Sit back and think of the small little things that you can change. Because this is what we do to start my Balanced Body program that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. You have to start incorporating small little changes. If you know that you don't drink water and you drink Pepsi every single day, if you drink 3 Pepsis a day, cut it down to 2. By the end of the week, cut it down to 1. By next week, you only have 1 every other day. By the week after that, you only get 1 a week. Everything else is water. If you have to go to fruit juice, you can do that too. But the point is that you start getting yourself into little changes. If you know that you eat meat with every single meal, your doctor has told you that you don't need to be eating meat, or you know that the meat is making you inflamed, why do you keep eating it with every single meal knowing that you don't need it? If you can make a plant-based meal that is just as delicious, you just need to learn how to do it. So these small little habit changes is something that I teach in my Balanced Body program, because the first week is about mindset. Mindset is you getting in the space of understanding how to make an action plan for yourself, establishing that action plan, and then really honing in on those small itty bitty little changes so that by the end of the 6 weeks, you see how it all adds up. Because I never throw anybody into the program and think that they're going to know everything and have everything and just be ready to change. I simplify the process by slowly getting you integrated with the mind, the spirit, and then the physical. When you get into the realization of understanding how to make an action plan, plan out your grocery list, and see when your most energetic time for you to actually implement these things are, it makes it so much simpler than you sitting down and saying, tomorrow I'm going to cut it all out and I'm going to eat it all. Knowing that you start your cycle in 2 days, knowing that you're hungry and you need more calories. But when you are following these gurus who are only telling you half truths online, and these gurus who know dang well that they don't eat the way that they be showing y'all online, or these gurus that know that they're dealing with a number of different health issues and they're unaliving, because that's an issue that I've been seeing of people promoting a healthy lifestyle and then they're unaliving at an early age, and everybody's trying to figure out how and why. It's because they're selling you facades. I post the foods that I make. I post the body progress, whether it's I'm bloated today or I'm looking great today. I'm going to post it. Because I posted, I think maybe a month or 2 ago, of me being bloated, and I was like, I love my body in every form, and I do. Sometimes it's bloated, sometimes it's not. Majority of the time it's not. But when it is bloated, I don't sit there and go, oh goodness, I need to starve myself today. But I look and I say, what's my phase of my cycle? What have I been eating? Have I been eating a lot of bread? Usually. I love carbs. And so then I take an assessment. How much fruit have I eaten? Because there's a balance. And if I have not been balanced, that's why. Instead of being hard on myself, saying that I haven't done what I need to do, I haven't walked, I haven't done abs, I haven't done this, I need to stop eating. But instead of saying, you haven't eaten that many fruits, so you know what that means? Your digestive tract is going to be bloated. Hydration. I know you've been drinking water, but have you been eating water? You haven't even been drinking enough water, and it's summertime and you ate a whole lot of salt. These are the things that you can ask yourself and run through when you have a balanced lifestyle. But when you don't have a balanced lifestyle, you're playing this constant guessing at, well, I think I might have ate too much salt. I might have ate too many fried foods. I don't know. I ate chips yesterday. Maybe that's what threw me off. You don't know. When you have all these poisons sitting in front of you with every meal that you eat, you can't pinpoint it because all of them are poisoned. But when you have, okay, maybe I only ate chips yesterday and that's the reason why, versus like, I know that I ate chips, I ate fruit, I ate this. I know it's not the fruit. I know it's not the meal that I made hand scratch for myself. So it has to be the chips. But when you ate out, you ate chips, you ate this burger over here that somebody made, you ate these French fries that are deep fried in canola oil, you can't pinpoint where the problems are coming from because all of the things that you're eating are problems. And then when you sit here in the mentality of TikTok of all food is poison, like that sound was going around, right? When you have the mentality of all food is poison, you think, okay, well, if I'm going to eat what I choose to eat because all food is poison. But y'all are so heavily into that programming of all food is poison that you don't realize that there is a healthier choice to make, but you don't want to make it because all food is poison in your brain. That's what you have trained yourself to believe. But all food is not poison, because if that was the case, how come people can go on a plant-based lifestyle of eating fruits for a month or 2 or 3 and heal themselves from cancer if all food is poison? Because cancer literally puts poison inside of your body for the treatments. So how come all food is poison, but they don't go through the same chemical process of poisoning that they do when they're on chemo and radiation? These people, and you, if you don't believe me, like I said, just get on Facebook. I have said this before. Get on Facebook, search up all the people who have healed themselves from going plant-based and never did chemo, never did radiation. They just stopped eating the foods that they're promoting to you to eat for a few months and saw a change. But I've had women who come to me and say that they have gone raw plant-based, they have gone raw fruits and vegetables only for about some months or whatever, and it hasn't worked. And the key difference between the ones that are like, oh, it hasn't worked versus the ones that it has, what are the products that you were using, as well as the fact that what kind of hydration are you getting outside of the fruits and the vegetables? What are you eating on a regular basis? Are you eating enough? These are key factor questions that you have to answer for yourself if you are not seeing results inside of your whatever you're believing when it comes to diet culture. Because a lot of y'all are not eating enough calories nor getting enough healthy nutrition in your food. But they're telling y'all that you should stay in a calorie deficit, even though you didn't even have enough healthy proteins and fats to be full throughout the day. And so that's the reason why you're hangry and starving by 12. And these are the things that I help get rid of and help you get taught in the program. Not only how to eat the plant-based meals, get that healthy protein and support, also allow you to make your own non-toxic products, also allowing you to make your own natural medicines. And all of these in these 6 weeks are able to be sustained. And that last week is us working on a detox and a cleanse together. And each point, each system, I don't know what to call it, each section, we get one-on-ones, we talk together, we have an app that you communicate with me and you, that you have with me during office hours, that you can ask any questions that you have. And I work with the people with their schedule. I don't sit here and say these are my hours and it is what it is. I have people who work 9 to 5s who need to talk to me afterwards. I have people who like to talk early in the AM. It just is up to you. The program is tailored to you, with the sessions when you need them, when you need to contact me through the app. These are things that we communicate. But in order for you to see the change you were looking for and to actually get into that change, you have to take action. Making those small little habit changes is the way that you take action. And if you are looking for support and you need a system that is going to help you be able to do that, and a strategy, I have that for you in my Balanced Body program. That program is linked in my bio. For the next 2 spots and the next 2 spots only, they're at $9.97. After that, they are going up to $1.5K. If you want to check those out, like I said, you can get a Recliner Affirmer Afterpay. This is a strategy that has been tailored to me, by me, for you, that is going to help you be able to establish a healing lifestyle that you are looking for and that you are needing to sustain, so that you won't be in that space of, in 2030, them making a $1 trillion profit off of you being fatigued, you not knowing how to take care of your body, you being overweight, and you sitting here dealing with diabetes. Because that's what they're banking on. So I'll take any questions that you guys have. What questions do you guys have for me? And if not, I'm going to hop off. Thank you so much for the roses and the heart meeting. Thank you for the gifts. My nose is a little itchy. I went outside today. I went on my walk early outside with my dog today instead of versus like midday, because I didn't know how hot it was going to be. And I think it's kind of irritated my nose a little bit. And just a little smidge, just a little something, because the bug has also bitten me right here, and it's bitten me right here on my shoulder, and it's made me mad. Like, I don't know when the bug bit me at all. So any questions that you guys have for me, and if not, I appreciate you guys for the likes. I'm going to try to go live today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. I'm going to try to hit back to back this week, because by the end of the week, I'm not going to have time to go live, but I do try to go live 3 times a week. And so all of my past lives are posted every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you want to go check those out, they are on my YouTube. My YouTube is linked in my bio. Thank you for the follows and the likes. If you guys have any questions, I'll take any questions that you have, whether it's about the program, if it's about balancing your lifestyle, about liver, kidney, pancreas, gut information, if you want understanding your balancing your mood, cycle syncing, which we do cover that. I forgot to say that we do cover cycle syncing in the beginning of the program so that you can understand cycle syncing and we can move and flow according to your cycle as a woman throughout the program, because that is an important part of learning how to eat plant-based meals and being stabilizing when it's stabilizing your mood and stabilizing your mood, as well as when we know when you can do the detox and the cleanse. I usually do say by the end, because I don't know exactly what it is, but usually women are either right off their cycle or they have started their cycle rather around the time that they usually book the program with me. I don't know, that's just kind of what it's been, the common thing. And usually by the end of the 6 weeks, they're already getting back to the space of they're either right in that space where it's the 6 weeks, they're ready to cleanse and detox, or they're right before the end of the 6 weeks and that's their time to cleanse and detox, which that is according to your cycle, so it does get tailored. Foods to help with your kidneys, plant-based foods, anything that's going to help you flush and get hydration. I talked about that earlier. You're going to need hydration on a cellular level, so that is a fruit, like water-based fruits and vegetables issue, as well as oxygen on a cellular level, which comes from water-based fruits and vegetables, because it is a different type of water and a different type of oxygen that comes specifically from fruits and vegetables, because it comes from the earth. The earth gives different nutrients, and that is going to be something that you have to focus in on, because a lot of people, it's not just watermelon, but watermelon is a great one. That is, I think, I want to say over 95%, about 98% water, I want to say that watermelon is. And so that's going to help you be able, because if you're having issues in the kidneys, that is going to be an inflammation issue. Same thing with arthritis. All of these issues that y'all are having are inflammation issues, and inflammation is helped by flushing. And how do you flush a system? You give it fruits and vegetables. You cannot be eating inflammatory foods that are going to cause you to have issues inside of your body. So if you're eating meats, if you're consuming dairy, if you're consuming fried foods, fast foods, restaurant food, any of those things, those are going to add inflammation inside the body. And so you have to eat more fruits and eat more vegetables to get rid of that inflammation or to lessen it and lower it. Plant-based foods, if you're cooking them, are going to help you get rid of and help you lower. But in order for you to flush, to get rid of, you have to eat more raw fruits and vegetables on a regular basis. I'm not saying you have to go completely raw, because that's not my thing at all. I've been plant-based for almost 5 years. I don't eat strictly raw fruits and vegetables, but I do understand how important they are. And so I sync with my cycle to know when I need to be eating these raw fruits and vegetables the most and get the most benefit, versus the times that it's okay for me to cook more foods and it's not going to make me in a complete inflammatory state or throw off my blood sugar. You are so welcome. Thank you for the follows. Any more questions for me at all? Any more questions? Because a lot of these are inflammatory issues. They don't put two and two together. They'll tell you that, this is caused by inflammation, but they don't make you make the connections. When the doctor is talking to you in the doctor's office and they're telling you to take a prescription and do all these different things, they're not making the connection of the fact that it can simply be released, not by taking your prescription, but you getting hydration on a deeper level, eating more plant-based foods and learning them. And if you are looking for more plant-based recipes, because I know that people come to me saying that they tried plant-based foods but they ran out of ideas, I have a beginner's cookbook and I have an Eating Away Diabetes Cookbook that is not specifically tailored to diabetes, but it's actually a full plethora of a book that teaches you how to eat a rainbow plate, get your A1C balanced, get your blood sugar balanced, understanding how to get anti-inflammatory foods in your lifestyle, and breaking down each color aspect of the rainbow so that you are eating correctly according to the rainbow. So you're not sitting here trying to figure out how to eat plant-based and then lacking nutrition. Because when you're going plant-based, you have to eat a plethora of different foods, because your body is shifting from using one nutrient and trying to absorb the nutrient from there, which takes a whole lot to digest, versus a simple nutrient that doesn't take a lot to digest, that it's not used to, and it's used to imbalances. So it's going to fight itself for a minute. But when you are getting all of the colors that you need, it's not going to have that big of a fight when it comes to your cravings, when it comes to resetting. It's not going to have that big, back and forth of like, oh, I don't know if she's going to go back to eating it, because it's used to you doing diet culture. You flip to this, you go back to this. You flip to this, you go back to this. So after 3 months of you doing that, at some point your body's going to go, are you sure we're not eating meat anymore? Like, are you positive? And it's going to give you a craving. But the key to you not eating that craving is if you had all the nutrients that you need, so you have a discerning thought. But when you're lacking nutrition, you have no discerning thoughts, and you already were imbalanced beforehand, you're going to look at that meat and you're going to go, you know what, this ain't even worth it. And you're going to go back. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people do. So, you have to know how to have the simplified strategy for you to actually establish the change that you're looking for that's not on a foundation full of cracks. I'm not seeing any more questions. I appreciate you guys for the gifts. I thank you for the likes. I truly do. And the follows. I will try to be back tomorrow. I'm really trying to do Monday and Tuesday, and then this be the lives for this week, so that way at the end of the week I'm not stressed out trying to squeeze it in, because I don't think I'll be able to. So if you have followed me, I don't know if TikTok is your notification, but if you are on my email list, you will get a notification. I send a notification every time I go live. Check that out. The link is in my bio, and I send out an email every single Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. And I have tons of other things in my bio as well. Just scroll through. It's a long list of links, social media, etc. The full plethora. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday. I'm going to figure out what my Sunday for the rest of the day is going to consist of when it comes to work, because I think I have a few emails and some clients to talk to. If you want to get into that balanced body program, like I said, the last 2 spots are the only ones at $9.97. After that, it is going up to $1.5K. You can get it with Klarna Affirmer Afterpay. That is going to be your complete guide that has helped my most previous client, Tiffany, be able to not only within 3 days see a difference within her body, also be able to see the experience from somebody else experiencing it and commenting on it without her even saying anything, and also releasing an issue that she had developed right before she went in the program, of her having issue, or not right before, but a big issue that she was having that was concerning her right before the program, of inflammation and headaches and not wanting to go to the doctor. Within 3 days of us having that initial spiritual and mental alignment meeting, of us having the living intentionally flowing energetically masterclass, she was able to get rid of that. She was able to see through that and see what was going on and make her plan, and within 3 days she was getting results. So this is what I mean by the strategy works. It's the matter of, do you want to do it? Because you can go in and you can be skeptical and you can think it's not going to work, and it's not. But when you're going in and you're saying, I'm going to try this, and if it doesn't work, that's okay, but I think it will. It'll work for you, because you have that faith that it will. Or if you're going in gung-ho, like, I know this is going to work, it will. But when you're skeptical saying it's not going to work, it's not going to work for you, because you're never going to actually be open to letting it work. What plant-based foods to gain weight? It's not the matter of what specific food. It's the matter, well, it is a couple of specific foods. Like, you need more fiber and protein-based foods, high protein-based foods, and that can come from a different plethora of food combinations. But the key is that you need to eat more. It's not necessarily a specific food of, like, I can say, oh, just eat watermelon and you'll gain weight. You need to eat more. Even when you're sitting there thinking, like, okay, if you're not eating 3 meals now, for example, and you're sitting there like, well, I'm not hungry right now, I'll wait till an hour or 2 or later till dinner. You need to eat now. If you're thinking about it, you need to be eating. Whether it's just getting a snack and grabbing a snack. But if you're eating in a plant-based space, that's what you should be doing. If you're not eating in a plant-based space, don't take this advice and apply it to anything else, because it's not going to work that way. It's just going to make you more unhealthy. Because I have talked to my most recent client, Tiffany. She was small all her life, and most recently she had gained a whole bunch of weight after her most recent child, I think it was 4, and could not lose it, and everybody was saying that she didn't eat a lot, and they're so confused of how she had gained all the weight, because she used to be so small, and on top of that, like, she doesn't eat a lot. And then I started to ask her, as soon as she said she didn't eat a lot, okay, well, when you do eat, what do you eat? And so it was a basic, like, oh, I might get some French fries. They cater at our work. It's usually like chicken and things like that. And I'm like, see, that's the problem. You're not eating actual food when you break your fast. You're eating what the food pyramid gives you, but you're not eating the actual food that your body needs throughout the day, nor the time that you break your fast. So when you're breaking your fast, you're immediately putting your blood sugar in the spike, as well as your cortisol. So what we had to get her to do, and what worked for her the most, packing and prepping things for her to snack on and to eat, whether it was a full meal or it was just little fruits and vegetables throughout the day. And these are things that hold you over if you have the instance of like they cater to your work, or you know that you're going to go get fast food. So then when you finally do break your fast, you have a discerning thought to have, okay, I know I have this plant-based meal to eat. I'm not going to go get that chicken out of the break room, but instead I'm going to eat this first. And then I'm going to see. And usually by the time that you eat this and then you see, you have a discerning thought to go, okay, when I get home, I'm going to go in the kitchen, I'm going to cook this. Or I'm already home, I've eaten this, and now I have enough time so I can prep things and I can eat. Or I've already prepped it for this week, it's ready, I just need to heat it up. These are just small little things that we implement based on your life to simplify it. Because it's not based on what my life looks like and what I do, but what helps you. So like I said, I'm not seeing any more questions. I appreciate you guys for all the likes. If you want to get into that program, it is linked in my bio. I will be back tomorrow. Get on my email list so that you know when I go live and you don't miss the live tomorrow. And I post every Tuesday and Thursday, so go check out YouTube if you've missed any of the past lives, or if you want to catch this full live. It won't be posted this week, but it will be posted next week. Either that or it'll be posted this Thursday, but I think it'll be posted next week. I think I'm on backlog with my lives. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one, y'all. Peace. Thank y'all. Really appreciate you for being here.